Hello YouTube. Once again out in Cumbria in the Lake District. Today I'm in the Western Fells, but we're not going to be climbing any hills today. My original plan had been to go into the Northern Fells, go up Carrick Fell and Great Calver and a few peaks around there, but the weather forecast was pretty grim. Lots of wind, lots of rain. It's turned out it's a sunny day, but it's not going to be quite so good tomorrow, so I'm not going to take the chance. So instead, taking a walk up the Ennerdale Valley, going to check out the lake, the woods up towards the top of the valley, maybe have a cheeky wild camp, and in the morning, depending on the weather, back to the village at Ennerdale Bridge. And just short of a mile and a half into the walk, we're by Ennerdale Water, but the clouds have started to open. There's some spots of rain in the air, and looking behind me, looks like it's blowing in from the southwest. You see clouds starting to come down over Pillar. So if you're on the coast to coast, this part of the route, you'll be starting day 2, or it could be the back end of day 1 for you if you're trying to get a good jump on the walk up to Honister. The original path followed the bank opposite, and it had the scramble over Angler's Crag and Robin Hood's Chair you can see in the distance on the other side. This side, it seems to have been adopted. Seems to be a bit of investment in the side with the bridges and such. It's a slightly longer route round the lake, but in terms of time, it is quicker. Once you come off this part of the path, you'll be onto the forest track, and you probably save yourself anything up to about an hour. Looking out over the lake again, and the clouds have blown away. Sun's coming out. It's going to be a wonderful day. As we come around the lake, got Herdus and Great Bourne in front of us. You can climb there, either going up to the right, and then up the lake, and from there you can follow the ridge to Starling Dodd and Red Pike. You can carry on over High Crag and High Stile to Haystacks. And in front we've got the big rocky outcrop, which is Bowness Knot. So as we walk around, there's been a lot of investment in the coast to coast route since it's been made a national footpath. It's a lot more accessible for people, a lot more publicity, being a lot of trade-in for local businesses along the route. But it's not quite what Mr. Wainwright had in mind when he plotted this route over 50 years ago. When Mr. Wainwright wrote his book, in fact whenever he wrote any of his pictorial guides, they're precisely that, guides, not instructions. He wrote in his introduction that he pored over Ordnance Survey maps and found his own routes and plotted them out, but that it shouldn't be an instruction but a guide, that others can be inspired and find their own way and find their own route. So here we are, we've arrived at Bowness Knot, or Bowness Knot car park. It's pay and display, so I don't use this very often anymore. So 3 miles in, been going for about an hour. It's starting to drizzle again, but we're going to be walking into the woods soon, so let's not waste time with waterproofs. We just get under the trees Wow, so that didn't last long. As soon as I turned the camera off, clouds came down, heavens opened, and we got a right old shower. So coat on, got the waterproof over the pack as well. Walking down by the lake. If you want to get caught and moved on while camping, this is the place to do it. Really looks lovely, but it's not the best place to pitch your tent and overnight, apart from getting moved on by the utilities people. There's wild cattle roaming around the place. If you want one of them sticking their hoof through your fly sheet, try and find somewhere else to camp. In the meantime, there's a path up there. So as I'm climbing up away from the lake, you might be able to see it behind me in the background. Sun's come out again, so I'm going to take 5 minutes, have a quick sit down, take this coat back off, get rid of the pack cover. I've just had a quick check of the map, and I've got my eye on a couple of spots for camping tonight. The first one is about 3/4 of a mile away. So whilst I finish my rest, taking my coat off, we'll carry on up the path and hunt it out. As we come into the trees, it started to pour down again. I wonder how long this is going to last. Still, lots of lovely views behind us though. So I'm making my way up out of the valley through the forest, and the sun's coming out again, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Sun coming down between the trees, above the canopy, blue skies. Still the odd drop of rain dropping off the trees onto me, but there's one of the camping spots up around the corner. I'm going to check it out, but I'm not too sure about it. If we look around where I am at the moment, there's an awful lot of debris from fallen trees, and I'm not sure I want to be part of the scenery in the morning, so we'll have a careful check out of what's available to us. So, climbed up out the forest. We see in the distance, don't know if you make out the pointy peak of steeple, but walking through here on the map and throughout this valley, there's remains of ancient farmsteads, homesteads, and settlements of various kinds. And I've seen YouTube videos in the past, and I'm sure it was up here that somebody had a very good night. However, looking at these trees, they look dead or dying, and there's lots of trees fallen in this area, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a particularly good place for me to camp out. If I can find a spot where nothing's come down recently and it's tucked out the way, I might consider it. But for me, I'm going to carry on, circle back to the lake, and try and find somewhere else. Got pillar on the left hand side, skirt fell, you can see pillar, haycocks in the cloud behind the trees, but I'm going to say fantastic shadows across the hillside looming up behind those trees. I'm going to take 5 minutes here just to catch my breath and to take in those views. So walking through this forest, another view's just opened out. Obviously you can see Pillar, the big mound in front of us, and behind it some wisps of cloud just going across the top of Great Gable, and moving across to the left we see Green Gable with a tongue going up to it. and the whole valley bathed in sunshine. Isn't it fantastic? So I've come out onto a clearing. We're looking up onto Red Pike and circle around. I see the sunshine on Little Dodd as we look down this path into the valley onto the River Liza. Now back on the forest road again. This is the one that runs from Bonus Knot up to Blacksail. Going to walk along here for probably about a mile. There's a bridge over to the other side of the valley, and I'm going to have a look around there, get up the hill a bit, and check out my next camping spot. So just short of 8 miles, and I think it comes to about the furthest point in this walk. Going to walk down this side of the forest path, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be 1 or 2 very sweet camping spots down here. First, I'm going to get my breath back, take in the views of the Dodds and Herders and all the ones you can see in the background there. So that was a bit of an odd one. I was sat on the bridge overlooking the river on one of the main forest drives, and I saw a police van driving up the forest drive towards Blacksail Hut. Don't know what they're doing. Could quite easily be on the lookout for people wild camping, setting fires, whatever. Didn't really fancy hanging around to find out and have to waste everybody's time answering stupid questions. So I've retreated into the woods. I've got a bit of a vantage point over the forest track, so that if they go back, I should be able to see them go back, and they shouldn't be able to see me. Because time now is just gone 5 o'clock. So in about an hour, I want to be looking for or have found somewhere to set up camp for the night. Obviously lots of people around at the moment, still a bit too early, but I think by 6 o'clock people should be leaving the forest, should be leaving the fells. So I think we'll be able to settle down and hunker down for the night. So between showers and slipping down the river bank, we've finally come down to the banks of the River Ehan, which flows into Ennerdale Water. But most importantly, if you come with me between the trees, we have our bed for the night. It's the Alpkit Tarpstar 1. Quite excited about this. It arrived mail order yesterday. Good old Alpkit had a 20% off discount earlier this week, and I thought I couldn't resist that. So I thought, what better for a spot of stealth camping than a nice green wigwam. Okay, so I've got the tent pitched and everything's set up. So I'm going to take you around and show you what we got. So got my own ground sheet down on here from one of my nature hike tents. Inside the sleeping area, got an Alpkit liner, light AF mat, and sleeping bag. It's 200. Can't remember who makes it. I think it's a Van Gogh. Also got an OEX liner in there and a Trekology pillow. Very simple setup, very straightforward. It's not super expensive, but it's not super budget either. Got tea in the corner, got some spime, got some beans, got some flatbreads. Don't go normal bread, flatbread is so much better. Got some nuts and raisins and porridge for the morning, and hopefully by morning the rucksack's going to have dried out a bit. I'll take you around the campsite in a second. Not quite as brilliant as I first thought, but when I first found it, it was lashing down with rain. So let's have a look. So looking around, people have clearly been here before. That tree hasn't fallen down naturally. And looking around the signs, that there's been 1 or 2 fires. There's some burnt sticks down there, but that's quite old. You can see there's fungus growing out the side of it. Let's go down to the beach. There's this flat bit here which I was really tempted by to start with. However, you are overlooked by the opposite bank, and I hadn't done a check, so I'm not sure how close it was to the forest track. Also, another thing that put me off, again, people have been here before. A few sticks there, burnt, and the remains of a campfire, and somebody's put stuff on there which really shouldn't be on there. So before I leave camp tomorrow, I'm going to make sure that not only have I left no trace, but I'll be scattering some of the remains of these fires and the evidence of other people's camps, so that everything is as you'd like to find it. Because when I pitched up, I was a bit disappointed. I would have loved to have been by this bit here. So while I've been mooching around camp, I've cleared up some of the previous campfires. While I was doing so, I found another one here which we just kicked to one side, scattered the ashes, and put some moss down on top. I've got all the junk back from the beach. That's going to go in my rubbish sack tomorrow with my own junk when I take that out. Again, there was some stones underneath this tree which have been a campfire. I've thrown those far and wide, scattered them out. All the scorch marks as best I can, cover those in moss so that there's no trace of that. Although it looks like someone's been burning against this tree. Don't know if you can see on there, but it looks like there's scorch marks going up that trunk. There's no need for that sort of thing, is there? But when you see the remains of people's fires and camps, especially this, and there's litter in there as well. So this is better than it was. That big thing over there, that's dead, can't really shift that. Same with this, that's quite big. But all the branches have been partly burnt and stashed up, thrown those far and wide, so that nature can take its course with those. Right, so I want to go back to camp. I think it's time to put some tea on. Yum yum. Of course, massive advantage of being close to a river. There's somewhere to cool your beer as well. So I've had my tea, and now it's time to wash up. I was on one of the forums recently, and someone was asking, what do people use about soap and stuff? Just mainly for body washing and stuff, and somebody recommended this stuff, Dr. Bronner's all-in-one magic soap. Good for bodies and hands, and get it in focus, and more. I wonder if it's going to be any good for washing up. So many peppermint flavour, so let's see what happens. It's about 8:10 now. Had tea, cleaned up, need to tidy up the kitchen area of camp, but just finishing off my one and only tinny tonight. It's due to get dark, or sundown is 9:25, but I think it's going to be an early night because sunup is going to be before 5 o'clock. Do an early start. It's only 6 miles back to the village in the morning, so I think it's time to tidy up, get into the Tarpstar 1, and we'll see what sort of night's sleep we have. Night night. Now then everybody, it's about 4:45 in the morning. You might be able to hear that the birds are singing already. It is getting light out there, so I'm going to think about getting myself washed and dressed. I've got some porridge, and we'll make a start at breaking camp and getting out and starting the day. Good morning. It is 6:45 in the morning. It's Bank Holiday Monday, the 26th of May. I've just packed up, so we're going to have a quick look around the site. That's where my tent was, the Alpkit Tarpstar one. There's my bag, there's my rubbish bag, more importantly, with not only my rubbish, but rubbish I found. These food stumps over here, where I've been cooking last night and this morning. And we look around, making sure there's nothing left. And here, cleared up some old fire pits. So, not only have I left no trace of my presence here last night, I've removed the trace of previous campers as well. Really annoying that people just disrespect the countryside like that. I've left this place how I would like to find it and how maybe others would like to find it. So, got the bags, got the pole, footpaths out there. We're going to walk the 6 miles back to Ennerdale Bridge. So after I saw the police on the Forest Drive, I dropped down into the woods and found a camping spot hidden away in the trees, close to the river, but far enough into the trees to make me totally invisible. Of course, it was my first time trying the Alpkit Tarpstar 1. I only picked it up on Saturday, and first night out last night, Sunday night. All I'd done was take it out of the pack and make sure I had enough tent pegs. It's absolutely brilliant tent. The tent itself went up very easily. I had it up less than 10 minutes, and that was the first time. Hadn't read the instructions, but it was fairly straightforward. Pegged out the corners, pegged out the central points, and from there it was easy to see where the sleeping compartments went. I had an extra ground sheet, and certainly on a day like yesterday, where the ground was a bit damp from showers all day, it's a good idea to have a lightweight tarp or footprint just to cover the open area of the vestibule. Just so you've got something to put your kit, somewhere to rest your rucksack, and to sit if need be. The footprint is about 2 meters by 2 meters. I'm 5'8", and I was able to stretch out in it quite happily. I wasn't touching the ends either with my head or with my toes. However, I think if you're much more than about 5'10", 5'11", you might need to maybe think about the Tarpstar 2. Main difference being that the one has a one-person size sleeping compartment, but the Tarpstar 2 sleeping compartment is the entire width and depth. And of course, there's plenty of room in there, not just on the ground, but headroom as well. I always like to be able to sit up in the tent and not have my head scraping the ceiling. It's difficult enough to pull your pants on in the morning while you're in a tent without your head being bent over to one side. So, as I say, for me, headroom is very important. And the tent outer is really good quality. Certainly not the ultra light material that you see in a lot of tents these days, but a reasonable thickness. And of course, with it being a trekking pole tent, you're saving weight there. I use a trekking pole anyway, so there's no extra weight for me. But I'm not sure how much it weighs. When I collected the parcel the other day, it said on the delivery label that it was 1,000 grams, 1 kilogram. So for any kind of tent, that's still a good weight. As for quality of sleep last night, I slept reasonably well. I got 4-5 hours sleep. I didn't notice any breeze, no cold in the tent at all. So all in all, the Alpkit Tarpstar 1 is really good tent. Going to be using it again. I'll get it out in the garden to have a proper look at it, but first impressions, I'm very, very impressed. It's coming up for about 8:45 and I've just walked past Burness Knott, so heading back down towards the lake now. There's about 3 miles to go until I get back to Ennerdale Bridge, so I'm going to sign off here. Got this far, thanks very much for watching. I'm guessing that you've enjoyed it, so give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and if you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. If you hit the bell, you'll get a notification every time I drop a new video. Lots of hiking, a bit of wild camping, and just general outdoors fun and adventures. Thanks a lot for watching, take care, and I'll catch you later. Had tea, just finishing off the so this is grim. I'll get some coats on and not have my head scraping the south.